Hey, it's Mark again, here with my partial mash video. I want to take a second, actually a few seconds, to talk about the supplier that I purchased this from. No endorsement by them, no compensation from them. Purely my opinion and my experience. The name of the brewer's supply is called Williams Brewing in San Leandro, California. I live in California. I went on the internet. I searched them out. I went with them because they were the first place I found that had both online and catalog ordering, as well as being in the state of California to help cut down on my shipping costs. I ordered. They received the order on Monday, processed it, and shipped it before 4 in the afternoon on Monday. They have a policy that if you order, they say before 4. Personally, I would suggest trying to get your orders in before about noon or 1 o'clock, just to make sure they've got time to pull everything. If you order grains and you want it crushed by them, it's crushed and then hermetically sealed, so that they've got time to process your order and actually get it shipped out that day. I received notification that they had printed a shipping label at 4 o'clock Pacific time on Monday. At 4:07 Pacific time on Tuesday, FedEx was here with my entire shipment. Now onto the ingredients that I bought for my piecemeal brew. I also bought a Williams Stout brewing kit, which I will make a video on for the next batch that I create. First off, for this that I ordered just individual ingredients, I got carbonation drops. I am not set up with 2 separate containers, one for fermenting, one for priming, so I use the drops. Never had a problem with them. Got my grain bag here. I ordered a stout pure malt 6-pound bag of syrup. This syrup, unlike the Cooper kits, requires a boil. Again, I'm doing partial mash, so I went with something that's got some grit to it, so that I could experience the full experience. I bought 1 pound of food-grade maltodextrin. I also found my local grocery store has organic maltodextrin. I bought 2 containers of that. I got my Safeale US-05. That has the wider range for fermentation. It will ferment from 59 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. For those that are in Canada or in Europe, that's 15 to 24 degrees Celsius. I've got a 4-ounce package of Irish moss. This is going to come out of this bag when I use it and go into a sealable bag. I bought 1 pound of 550 Lovibond rated Black Patient crushed grain and 375 Lovibond rated crushed chocolate malt grain. Or I guess it's malt, not grain. That's it for the actual ingredients plus the clarifier. I bought a container. It's 1.5 ounces of the yeast beer nutrient blend by the W Yeast Laboratories. Not sure if that's pronounced yeast or W yeast or just yeast. This one container was, I believe, $3 or $4. It should last from 5 to maybe even 8 or 9 batches. In addition to the ingredients that I purchased for this, I also got myself a digital thermometer. This particular one comes with a 5-year limited warranty. Just mail it directly to the manufacturer. They'll ship you a new one if it's broke. I was looking for a probe that was on like a 4-foot wire so that I could set it off to the side and consistently monitor the temperature, but I'll have to stick this in about every 5 minutes just to verify my temperature for when I'm steeping the grains and everything, and then get my boil on. Alright, here's the beginning of the partial mash. First thing, I didn't put this on the video because, it's pretty simple stuff. This is the crushed chocolate malt. just cut the little corner off because I'm standing out here working by myself, so it'll make it easy to hold this with one hand, pour with this one. It occurred to me it'd probably be smart to pour your crushed grains in over the water so that all the powdery parts get in there. Alright, so got my 2 pounds of grain and malt, forgive me, put into my steeping sack. The temperature out of my hot water spigot came out right at 155, so I've got it on the stove on very low. Should keep it from getting up too high. Do a quick verification on the temperature with my new thermometer before I stick it in. Alright, 161. Be a good starting temperature. Just going to take this down a little notch and get my grain bag in there. Use plastic, use stainless steel, don't use wood. Wood harbors bacteria. Let's get that pushed on in there. Make sure that the water completely covers all your grain, all your malt. See little bits of air pop on out of there now. Probably be smart to not completely submerge the top of your drawstring bag. Got it just up to the top. Yeah, it's still showing 160. So I'll go ahead and take the stove and put it all the way down to the lowest setting. And I will see you back here in probably a half hour. Well, as you can see, steeping on the stove. I'm going to put a lid on it here in just a second. I wanted to show you this. I got it right up to 151 degrees. I'm going to turn the heat on for, I don't know, 30 seconds. Try to get it a little higher and shut off the heat, let it steep. Thought I should also mention I've got all of my fermentation equipment sanitized. I'm now draining it out. Used bleach, so I'm going to ensure that I have thoroughly rinsed out so that there is no bleach left over. Alright, see, a little bit over a half hour now. The grains have been steeping. I've got my sparge water all ready to go. So let's get to work. Make sure that my sparging water is at the proper temperature. $172 degrees. Should be good. We're going to add, got here, I don't know, 3.5, 4 cups of roughly ground vanilla nut coffee beans. I ground them myself about 5 minutes ago. Impart a little more coffee flavor to it. Not going with chocolate this time. I don't want to throw off my sugars, but adding some coffee. Empty out my steeping bag, put the coffee grinds in that, and while it's boiling, probably the last 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and stick the coffee grinds in there. Now before you turn your pot on for the boil, you're going to want to add your malt extract, whether it's powdered or syrup form, so that it doesn't scorch the bottom of your pan, and get it mixed in real good. Then turn it on for the boil. Just a small side note, my extract bag, I went ahead and sanitized the outside, just to make sure. I don't know how everybody else gets their malt extract out of their bags, but I've got mine folded sideways so that the lowest point's the part that I opened. I'll just squeeze really nice and hard. Squeeze out all the malty goodness that you can. Well, I went ahead and put some really hot water in the bag. I don't know, 2 or 3 cups. Just, this stuff's so thick and syrupy, I wanted to make sure that I could get about as much of it as I could out. Yeah, doesn't taste too bad. Go ahead and pour that on into my boil pot here. There we go. Alright, I've got my sanitized spoon all ready to get going on my stir.